Hey Top 10 Gaming family, I hope everyone is getting through that gaming backlog with all this extra downtime. I've never been a huge Call of Duty player, but I've always respected what the franchise has done. It's one of the best shooters ever and constantly evolves on what it did before, and not every game has been the best, but at least they are taking risks. And Warzone has been some of the best battle royale action I have ever played. And with anything that becomes big enough to become a part of our culture, people have started their own storylines about what could be going on in that universe. I've dug into some of this information and I'm going to use it to bring you today's list of top 10 Call of Duty creepypastas you need to read. As always, I would love it if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video, because I am going to close this video out with the top 3 unreleased shooters you need to keep an eye on. These are my personal picks. This is what I think. Also, I just want to let you guys know I'm not going to do the full story of each one of these creepypastas. I want to leave out the juicy endings in case you guys want to go and read them. And without taking any longer, of course, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have Black Ops Hell. This creepypasta starts like a kid's dream. The main character hears about a new Call of Duty coming out. This one is the first Black Ops. This is a big time release in the series, but he can't wait to get it, so he decides to try and find an online dealer to get a bootleg copy. People break street dates all the time, so what if there's someone out there who's burning copies and selling them before everyone else can buy them in stores? If he got this, he would be the coolest kid in school. Luckily, our narrator finds someone online who specializes in bootleg copies. This guy's name is Bootleg Bill. Well, with a name like that, you expect he would be very good at his job. So our unnamed main character decides to go visit this guy to see if he can get a copy of this game. And strange enough, Bootleg Bill gives him a copy for free. When the narrator returns home, he pops into his Xbox 360 and immediately starts playing the game. First thing he does is go to play zombies, but something strange happens. There's a new map that he's never seen before, and the name is just Ads. He starts playing the map, and partway through, he notices that the zombies are all actually devils in Russian army uniforms, and then the character that he's playing gets its legs grabbed by hands that are coming out of the ground, and then he gets pulled into a new map. This new map looks like Hiroshima after the bomb got dropped on it. He explored the map a little further and then came across a sign that was written in Japanese, but it translated to, "How does it feel to be in hell, Zach? How did the game know his name?" At number 9, we have Level 99. This creepypasta is about the Black Ops 2 zombie mode. There was a legend that there was a glitch in the game to get you to a new location. You have to play to level 99 on the map Transit, and when the bus arrives, you get on that bus and it takes you to a new destination. Our writer spent one summer night doing this with all of his friends, and when the bus arrived, they had to ride it for about 15 minutes before they ended up in a new area. This new area had such good graphics that it looked like real life. Then text popped up on the screen that said, "Kill the innocents." Then an arrow directed them into a home where a couple was sleeping soundly. One of his friends shot one of the people sleeping, and they all asked him why. He said, "Well, it's just a game." But was it? At number 8, we have Modern Warfare Suicide. This story follows a guy who just moved into his own place, and all he brought with him was an Xbox 360 and a few games. Eventually, he beat all the games, so he went to his local independent game shop to buy a copy of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. But the cover of the game had words written on it in a black Sharpie. It said, "Nick's game returned if found." He started up the game and found that all the death was hyper-realistic. The people were screaming so loud he could hear it over his gunfire and the other NPCs talking to him. It was so disturbing that he shut it off. A couple weeks later, he tried to play it again, but things got even worse. At number 7, we have Red Army. The guy's checking out a garage sale and he comes across a copy of Call of Duty World at War and then decides to buy it. When he gets home, he pops it in and something very strange happens. The game is super graphic. Like when people die, they cry out brutally. It's so graphic, the game is hard to play. This continues until he gets to a level called Auschwitz. In there are rows upon rows of bodies laying on beds. All of them are emaciated to the point where they almost look like skeletons. Some of them are still alive. It is extremely disturbing. He exits out of the gameplay to see how many missions there are, and there are hundreds of them, and all of them coincide with different dates for different war crimes that happened during World War II. At number 6, we have Reich 6.66. A young boy and his friend were walking through the woods and they came across a copy of Call of Duty for PC just laying in the woods. One of them picked it up, took it home, and then popped it into their PC. A menu for the game popped up, but it wasn't like any Call of Duty menu they had seen before. There were a few select options. One of them was die/game, and another one of them was setup/death. He clicked on the die/game one, and he got a text message on his phone that said 666. This was followed by the game starting, and it was like a first-person shooter, but his character had no gun. He just had a knife, and his character was also laying on the floor of an empty room. All that was in the room with him was a teddy bear, which he then used the knife to cut open, and then this horrible screeching noise started. He immediately exited out of the game. He then tried another one of the game modes, and then Hitler appeared on the screen making the same screeching noise. Number 5, we have Black Ops 4 Nightmare. This creepypasta follows a boy who is so excited because he just got Black Ops 4. Of course, like any kid with a new game, he pops it in and starts the download, and as soon as it's finished, he starts playing. But as he starts playing, he gets this weird sensation, gets this tingling, it progresses into a pain, and then it continues until it's a piercing pain. He stops playing the game and then the pain goes away. Then he starts playing again and then the pain comes back. He stops and it goes away again. The next time he starts playing, the pain progresses until he has a rash all over his body, and then he gets his parents to take him to the doctor, but the doctor claims that he's fine. When he gets home, he wants to test a theory. He thinks that Black Ops 4 is somehow causing his pain. So he starts the game up, and out of nowhere, he gets an intense pain over his whole body. He turns the game off, but the pain doesn't go away. It only gets worse. At number 4, we have Death Day. A young boy, Jimmy, idolizes his grandfather. The two of them would play Call of Duty together, and his grandfather would tell him about old war stories from World War II. Right before Call of Duty World War II comes out, his grandfather passes away, but he left him a surprise gift. It was the new Call of Duty World War II, but it was a month before the game was actually released. Excited to play the game, Jimmy popped it in and realized something very strange. They started at the Battle of the Bulge, but from what he read about the game, it was supposed to start at the beaches of Normandy. Even weirder, the main character's name in the game was James Shepard, which was the same as his grandfather's name, and the character looked just like his grandfather. He was shocked, but he played through eventually to the point where they got to a concentration camp, and the scene was horrific. Bodies were everywhere, and for some reason he could smell it. It was just a game, but it smelled like there was dead bodies all around him. At number 3, we have Respawn. A young boy meets someone through Call of Duty, and the two of them become great friends, but they never meet in real life. They play Call of Duty all the time together, and then one day, one of the boys just disappears. 10 years later, the boy is all grown up, and then he sees that his friend comes online. He hasn't seen this guy in 10 years, so he invites him to a game. He tries to talk to him, but he won't respond. He sends a message saying mic broken. After gaming for a little while, he sends him another message that says coming to see you with his address. He is now terrified, so he reaches out to the little brother of this old friend who he used to be in contact with, and all the little brother says in response is run. At number 2, we have Classified. Be careful what you wish for. This creepypasta takes place right after the launch of Black Ops 4. The writer was enjoying the game, but says that they were very frustrated. There was no campaign. It was kind of annoying. And then one day they booted up the game and there was a new selection on the main screen that seemed to be a campaign, but it wasn't called campaign, it was called Secrets. They selected it and it seemed to take place during the Vietnam War, almost like the other games didn't happen at all. Then it proceeded to show secrets, like government secrets, things that conspiracy theories say are true, but here was the proof that those theories were actually true. He realized that all this stuff was real. Then he turned off his console. Then he was sent a video of a man trapped in a box getting shot, and right before the man died, he said, "You're next." And for the number 1 spot, we have Lucid. Alex was a young boy in 2009 and nearly died in a car accident. Lucky for him and his whole family, nobody was hurt. Being a young kid, he used this new lease on life to play as much Call of Duty as possible, and he actually got really good. He got so good that him and his friends started to win tournaments. They actually started to get a little bit famous, and then they got really famous, and then they became multi-millionaires. He talks about how they all became bigger and bigger streamers, about how they got tons of sponsorship money pouring into their lap, and his parents never needed to work another day in their life. And then we hear it from the parents' perspective. It's been 9 years, and Alex has been in a coma ever since the car accident. Alright everyone, that has been our list, and as promised, I'm gonna let you guys know what are the unreleased shooters you guys should be looking out for. I think first is a really easy pick. I'm gonna say Valorant. This is the big game that everyone is streaming right now. Well, if you have a stream key, you're streaming it. Now, it's obvious that all the big streamers are being paid to play this game, I know that, but this doesn't mean that this game won't be good. It's made by Riot, who developed League of Legends, and it's going to be interesting to see what the developers can do outside of making MOBAs. Next on the list, I gotta pick System Shock 3. Now, I don't know if this game will ever come out, but if you're familiar with the System Shock series, it laid the foundation for BioShock, which was one of the best games on the Xbox 360 PS3 generation, and the next one looks like it carries on the mantle that BioShock left behind. If you're into creepy sci-fi first-person shooters that have a demonic AI that wants to kill you, this will be a great game for you. And finally, keeping in the vein of single-player first-person shooters, I've got Atomic Heart. This game looks so cool. It's set in a surrealist version of the Soviet Union and seems like it wants to take the best features of, once again, games like BioShock and pulling in an absurd world like a Salvador Dali painting. And I even like the developer's name, Mudfish. It's so good. Well, that is all I have for you on today's list of top 10 gaming. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And if you're looking for more gaming content like this, make sure you check out our channel because we have a ton of stuff over there. Until next time, I've been your host, Durena, and I'll see you in the gulag.